What's up? So you've just tuned into the best and future biggest fight channel on YouTube, and I want to thank everybody who's been patient with me this past week. I had a really bad fever about 102 degrees Fahrenheit, and so I'm better now, and I want to get right into it. I want to talk about that Aspinall win and what's next for Aspinall, that Jon Jones and that Stipe Miocic situation. Aspinall has now just become the heavyweight interim champion, and with the way things are going in that heavyweight division, I feel like that division is a bit on hold, because I know that Dana White still wants Stipe Miocic to be next against Jon Jones for that legendary clash, and it kind of puts Aspinall on hold. And because we don't know really how long Jon Jones is going to be out, we're guessing it's going to be for the next, I'm going to say 3 to 5 months. And so we will not see anything really move until the beginning of next year. Kind of not even like, I'm not expecting like a January return for Jon Jones. I'm thinking more of along the lines of March. And with that being said, that is indeed holding up the heavyweight division. Now, I want to see this Jon Jones and Stipe match just as much as anybody. However, you have to take into account as to what is going to happen moving forward with this division. Now, I would like to see Aspinall fight Jon Jones. I think Jon Jones was planning on retiring after Stipe. However, I do believe that Aspinall is making enough noise to where he's bringing attention to himself, and enough attention that Jon Jones versus Aspinall can be an interesting matchup. Now, if those two were to fight, who do I think would win? Now, I would put money on Jon Jones, but Aspinall brings some things to the table that I think that can pose a threat to Jon Jones. Now, I think it would be too much for me to say that Aspinall is going to bring something that Jon Jones hasn't seen. I think that Jon Jones fighting Ciryl Gane was a big test for Jon, just because Ciryl brings speed, he brings power, he brings that really clean striking, and I think that that's something that Aspinall does bring. Aspinall is a very fast heavyweight, especially with his hands. But I think that when it comes to Jon Jones, what makes Jon Jones so difficult is that he's so well-rounded as a fighter. He can bring anything to the table depending on who he's trying to fight. And so I think if Jon fights Aspinall, he's going to test Aspinall in the clinch game. He's going to test Aspinall in the grappling game. And Jon Jones is a better kickboxer in my mind. I think Aspinall, of course, has the power advantage. He might even have the boxing advantage. But I don't think that that's enough to get the job done when it comes to Jon Jones. I think it's a very similar thing when it comes to Stipe Miocic and Jon Jones, where Stipe, I think his boxing is a little bit cleaner. I think he hits harder than Jon. However, Stipe is outside of his prime, and Stipe also would probably lose in the grappling facet of the game. Now, Stipe is a pretty good grappler. He's a pretty good wrestler, and so I do think that does pose a bit of a puzzle for Jon, but I don't think that that's going to be enough to get the job done. And so I do think that Jon Jones is going to end up fighting Stipe probably first, and then I would really push Jon Jones into fighting Aspinall next. I think what will solidify even more of what Jon Jones has done is if he defends the title a bit more. Now, that division is pretty dead weight at the moment if you're talking outside of the three gentlemen that I've been talking about in this video. And so I don't know what Jon could really do as far as really making a statement amongst the fighters that are in that heavyweight division. However, I don't think that should stop Jon. I think Jon is at the age now where he can push out another solid 2-3 years of prime fighting, and why not clean out that heavyweight division? I think that's something that DC was able to accomplish in a very dominant fashion outside of Jon Jones, of course, but DC was able to clean out pretty much two divisions, the light heavyweight division and the heavyweight division. And if Jon is able to do that on top of the fact of having the wins over DC, I mean, there's no argument really for GOAT status when it comes to the greatest of all time in the UFC, but that would just push Jon that much further in the mountain of fighters as far as talking about GOATs. And so I think he should clean out the division, no matter what the state of the division is at, which I don't think that it's at a strong point. I think it's been a minute since we've seen the two heaviest divisions at a strong point, and I think that's largely because of DC and Jon Jones. And so it's going to be a while since we see those divisions recover from what I think DC and Jon Jones have done. Now we're seeing Alex Pereira come up as champion in the light heavyweight division, but I think Alex Pereira has a lot of holes in his game, and in many eyes I think that he is beatable. And so it's going to take some time, like I said, for those divisions to come back to where they were at. And those divisions were crazy. We're talking, that I mean, from the early 2000s on up till I'd say about 2017. I really do think that Jon Jones should focus on defending his title a couple of times, no matter who it is, and leave it at that. He can skip into the sunset, being the greatest of all time. And it's really interesting, because after Jon Jones retires, what will be next for the heavier divisions? I think that those divisions, like I said, are going to be recovering for a while, and I think it's hard to argue the fact that Jon Jones is the greatest of all time. So comment down below what you guys think about this trio of what's going on in the heavyweight division. Do you think Aspinall should be next for the title shot, or do you think Stipe should be next, despite the fact of Aspinall being the interim champion? Or should Aspinall fight Stipe Miocic? These are big questions that I think that can bring up really good conversations. So comment down below, people, what you think. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to hit that 1K mark for subscribers. I think this channel deserves it for the amount of content that I put out, the kind of content that I put out. This is the most unbiased channel that I can make. This is strictly based off of what I believe is going to happen, based off of my own expertise and how long I have been involved with the UFC as far as watching it and analyzing UFC. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.